Let's get right into it. Most people think Silence of the Lambs was just a creepy movie about a genius cannibal and a rookie FBI agent. But what if I told you? The movie was actually inspired by a very real psychological experiment, one that blurred the line between science and pure madness. Today, we're counting down the most disturbing facts behind the real experiments that built the mind of Hannibal Lecter. It all began when Silence of the Lambs author Thomas Harris visited a real prison in the late 1970s. He wasn't there to meet a movie villain, he was there to interview a convicted murderer for research. But what he found was unsettling. The inmate wasn't drooling or violent. He was polite, charming, and he asked Harris questions about him. Within 10 minutes, the writer realized he was the one being studied. That encounter would later inspire Dr. Hannibal Lecter, the calm, calculated predator who could read minds and eat them. In the 1980s, the FBI really did have a unit like the one shown in the movie, called the Behavioral Science Unit, or BSU. Agents there actually interviewed serial killers to build psychological profiles. But here's the creepy part. Some of those killers were helping investigators hunt other murderers, exactly like Hannibal helping Clarice. Real-life agents like John Douglas and Robert Ressler admitted that sometimes those interviews felt like psychological warfare. One wrong question, and the killer would turn the table, probing their fears, their childhoods, their doubts. It wasn't interrogation. It was a mental chess game.
Through the human behavior experiment that went too far. Narrator, around 1988, long before the movie released, there was a secretive university project studying empathy erosion. Participants who are shown real crime scene photos while hooked up to EEG scanners. The goal? To see if the human brain could adapt to horror and what would happen when it did. After weeks, some test subjects reportedly felt nothing. No disgust, no fear, just curiosity. Psychologists called it emotional descent. Others called it training people to think like psychopaths. Psychiatrists studying personality disorders in the 1980s noticed something strange. A small number of patients showed extreme cognitive empathy, the ability to understand emotions perfectly, but feel none of them. It was empathy, without compassion, cold, surgical, and powerful. One patient reportedly described emotions as colors on other people's faces. He could mimic any emotion, like a mask, but none of it was real. Sound familiar? That's textbook Lecter, The Forgotten Prison Interview Tapes. When FBI profiler Robert Ressler died in 2013, his personal archive revealed something chilling. Over 200 hours of never-released interviews with convicted serial killers, recorded between 1978 and 1991. Rumor has it that one of those interviewees, a Texas surgeon-turned-murderer, was the real-world basis for Lecter. He dissected people with surgical precision and even offered Ressler medical advice during questioning. Those tapes were so disturbing that parts of them were permanently sealed. He dissected people with surgical precision and even offered Ressler medical advice during questioning. Those tapes were so disturbing that parts of them were permanently sealed. What the FBI learned from monsters. By the time the film premiered in 1991, the FBI's Real Behavioral Science Unit had interviewed over 36 serial killers. Their data helped them catch dozens more. But many agents reported the same side effect: nightmares, paranoia, and emotional detachment. Studying monsters was turning them into what they studied. That's why some retired early, because they couldn't tell anymore if the darkness was out there or in here. So next time you watch Silence of the Lambs, remember, it wasn't just a movie, it was a mirror held up to the darkest corners of psychology, where science and horror quietly shake hands. And maybe that's the scariest part. The real Hannibal Lecter might not be locked away, he might just be the one studying you.